It can be discouraging when the winter snow melts and we're left with muddy, garbage-filled streets. Take Pride Winnipeg is inspiring communities across the city to make a difference in not only cleaning up litter, debris, and graffiti, but also changing habits and encouraging individuals to care about how their communities look. Let's get into it.
Well, Take Pride Winnipeg has been around since 1991, and it was formed by the City of Winnipeg and BFI, which is one of the landfill companies. But I took it over in 1997. It was kind of floundering, only doing about 2 programs. One which was a spring litter cleanup, which we've continued to do and changed the name to call it Team Up to Clean Up. But I've increased the number of programs from 2 to about 10.
Wow.
And one of the keys is that we started going into the schools and doing education programs for younger kids to get them to understand how they can make a difference in the community. And it's really helped over the years by going into the schools.
I believe that. It's so important to give people a sense of ownership in the area around them.
Yeah, and when we started in 97, there was only about 25 murals in Winnipeg. Now there's over 600. And most of those murals are because of Take Pride Winnipeg. And I love the mural program. I love what it's done to beautify our streets. And we've also expanded outside the city and done some other places in the province. And it just really has increased the color, the beauty, a little bit of the history of some of the people and places of Manitoba. And it's been a very big winner for our organization.
Out of these murals, how many were created by C2 Charlie? I know he has a significant collection of murals he's created here in town.
C5.
C5. Oh, no.
C5. Charlie Johnson's one of the best artists in Canada, I think. He has done murals all over the world, including in China, in Colquitt, Georgia. He did a 100-foot peanut silo. And he is so talented. He's done over 40 murals in Winnipeg and Selkirk and Churchill. Mm-hmm. So he's great. But we have so many talented artists here in the city. It's fantastic. And we're very lucky to have these artists.
Okay. So why did you want to get involved in Take Pride Winnipeg? Getting involved in 97, now it's 2024. Then how do you think things have evolved at the organization over that time?
I saw the value in trying to help make our city and province a better place in which to live. I love this province. I love this city. And I felt that I could help make a difference, that I could show some new ways to increase the overall pride in the city and the province.
Hence the name.
Yeah, to make people feel better about themselves and to show them that everybody has to work together in order to make a difference. And it just can't be two or 3 people going out to pick up litter. It's got to be everybody.
Yeah, it's too much for just a couple of people to take care of everything that happens in Winnipeg.
As I say when I go to schools, if every person in Manitoba took 3 seconds to walk outside, pick up 1 piece of litter, that's 1 million pieces of litter off the ground every day. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't take much to all of a sudden say, hey, wait a second. But on top of that, you need people to understand how they got to start taking responsibility for not throwing litter on the ground as they walk, not throwing it out of their car windows, and making a conscious effort to recycle properly and to understand that the things we do will make our place better.
How do we do that? How do we inspire people to care about cleaning up? Walking around my apartment, it feels like there's a lot of people that just don't care. And it feels like it compounds that when you go out, you see litter on the ground, you don't care. There's dog feces, everything. And you're just like, well, this is a dump. And, inevitably you just think, okay, well, what's a one more piece of litter?
We get them to care by showing them how important it is to do that. When we go to the schools and we talk to the children and the students, and then they go and tell their parents how they have to stop throwing their cigarette butts on the ground, how they have to stop throwing stuff out the car window. If the kids can get the parents and the adults to do that, what a difference that makes. And when we have 15 to 20,000 volunteers that go out every spring to pick up litter, and it's individuals, families, businesses, community groups, schools, church groups, they all go out to help. And it's easy to sign up to get some bags and to get some gloves and to go out and do a little work for an hour. Doesn't take long.
I know it can also be a little bit of a challenge, as we're seeing in areas like Osborne Village. A lot of graffiti and things are starting up as we see economic issues and kind of strain on people's wallets. It seems that there's a correlation between, as people are struggling, they also don't care as much about their community. So it feels like there's also some other things to talk about, not just a sense of ownership, but also addressing some of the systemic challenges that we have.
And that's one of the issues that you need to get to all the people. And some of them are past the point of caring. And that's where you've got to get other groups to come in and show the neighborhood what it would look like to be clean and to be graffiti free and litter free would be make the place look so much better, and maybe the people would feel better about living there. And then maybe they would help contribute. I know that we did a cleanup on the Main and Higgins area one day. And when I was there, a woman came up to us who was from the area, and she said, you know, if I had a broom, I would help sweep every day. I gave her a broom. And hopefully she's out there sweeping every day. I know that in the Point Douglas area, a friend of mine helps the Point Douglas cleanup every spring, and she loves the area. She loves Point Douglas area, and she loves helping out, and she's getting more and more people every year to come out and be part of their community. And that's what it's about.
It can have a domino effect of positive impacts for the community, not just about cleaning it up, but then it improves mental health of people, seeing their area clean, bright, colorful murals in a place instead of just concrete and brick.
Concrete, brick, and graffiti, which we, unfortunately, there's a lot of graffiti out there, and we want to get rid of that if we can, because it just doesn't look as good as it could. I'm not talking about the graffiti art, because there's some beautiful graffiti.
There's very different things between the graffiti art, because it's about intention.
Yeah.
Right? One is just tagging versus someone deliberately going out of their way to create a piece of art.
Correct. The other day, my granddaughter and I were out, and she saw a piece of graffiti, and she said, well, I kind of like that. I said, well, it's kind of nice, but it's a graffiti tag, and it's not allowed there. They didn't ask permission, and it doesn't look as good. And she saw her dad with her a couple of days later, and she said, I saw that, I liked it, but Papu, Greek for grandfather, Papu doesn't like it because it's feety. And he said, what's feety? She said, feety. And she didn't know how to say the word graffiti. The key is that we want to do whatever we can to make people feel better about where they live. And by having clean streets and clean parks that are not full of needles, for an example, which we've got to get rid of, to have no graffiti on the walls, everything we can do helps a little bit to make you feel better about your community.
And I guess there's also an economic incentive to do it. When you have a cleaner, more vibrant community, more businesses will be interested in coming in. More businesses means more money, potential of building more housing and different clinics or ways to help people, and it can continue to grow. More people are getting off the street. They have help. It continues to grow. They want to go and improve the community.
Yep.
So it all adds up.
Yeah, and it's amazing when you do that and you feel safer, you feel better, that all of a sudden it changes the mentality of the people in the neighborhood, and it will make it a better place to live and make people want to move there and want to settle there. And it's so important.
You've developed several programs. 10, we've talked about the murals, the spring cleanup, and I'd like to talk spring cleanup a little bit later. But what are some of the other programs at Take Pride Winnipeg?
Well, all of our education programs, we run 3 different education programs to schools. Kindergarten and grade 12, talking about taking pride, taking action. We also do Take Pride in Reading, where we read environmental stories to kindergarten to grade 4 students and then have little games with them and talk to them about environmental issues. And we do a little bit of magic for them. And it's all free. We're doing a contest this year for students to make a 30-second video about making a difference. We did a contest last year where we got students to make outfits out of recycled material, and that was fabulous. So those kinds of things are fun. We used to do, and we want to bring back, a program called Brush Up Winnipeg, where we had companies get their employees to come out and paint a home, the exterior of a home, for a senior citizen who was financially or physically unable to paint the house themselves. So they would come out with 20 employees, get there at 8 o'clock in the morning, finish painting the house by 4 in the afternoon. It was fantastic. And we've painted over 100 homes in Winnipeg.
Wow.
Over the years. And then the other one is Winnipeg in Bloom, which is a front yard garden contest. Used to be a contest where it was a garden contest, but it was backyards. We took it over in 99 and said we want to bring it to the front yard to increase the curb appeal of the city. Mm-hmm. And we've done that for a number of years, but we stopped doing it during the COVID years, and we want to bring it back again next year.
Of course. I mean, COVID was a challenge for everyone, and everyone kind of felt the pains there. So it's great to hear that it's coming back. What sort of reception are you getting from the kids when you're going to these schools, interacting with them, talking with them?
Absolutely phenomenal. We were at a school this morning. We had every student was there from nursery school to grade 6, and it was phenomenal. They listened. We not only educate, but we entertain. We show some videos. We do a little talking, and we have a little trivia game that we have, and just so much fun for the students because they get to interact as well. We ask them questions about where does litter come from and why is littering bad, and they know. And they get it, and they know those things. So it's always positive, always good. And we've been in 45 schools already since January 1st.
Wow.
And I've got, not next week, but the week after, we've got 5 schools in 5 days. So it's just nonstop, and I love it.
Winnipeggers and Manitobans can attest, although it lingered a little bit this winter, spring is on the way. Walking out there, getting the boots and the bottom of your pant legs all wet with water. When does the spring cleanup happen? Is it already begun? Is it kind of in the processes of getting volunteers?
People are already signing up. We just dropped off some bags and gloves to 3 schools. Businesses and community groups are signing up to figure out where they want to go, when they want to go. Usually they don't start going until it's a little drier, so give it a couple more weeks, hopefully. Yeah. And then they'll get going out there, and they'll be going from mid-April, late April, all the way until July. And we got different groups all the time phoning and saying we need to come out and we want to help. And lots of businesses get involved. Wawanesa is one that gets involved every year. And it's fabulous to see all these groups coming together.
How do people get involved in that? And what sort of role does Take Pride Winnipeg have in coordination of equipment or supplies or something like that?
Yeah, we provide bags and gloves. And for some of the businesses, we have litter pickers as well. Mm-hmm. All they got to do is contact Carrie, CARRIE, at takepride.mb.ca and say that you've got a group that wants to go out. You decide where you want to go. We can sometimes give you ideas because we've just done our litter index where we know where all the streets that are in most need of help are. For an example, Empress from St. Matthews to Sargent is what we consider a 10, and you can't get worse than 10, and it's horrible. Mm-hmm. It would take a group of, let's say, 40 people, 3 hours and 60 bags of litter.
Oh boy,
that's how much litter is there.
I guess it all just piles up over the winter.
All piles up over the winter, and so it's a major effort. So if you got a group that wants to go out, if you're an individual that wants to go out, we saw a woman on South Osborne the other day, and she was walking down the street, and every 2 seconds she would stop and pick up a piece of litter. So I said to her, "Thank you very much. I'd like to give you a Take Pride Winnipeg hat, And I said, I just happen to have one in the car. And I said, and here's some garbage bags for you to go out and do that. And she said, thank you so much. I go out every day and I just want to help. So it's perfect. That's what I want.
Fantastic. From your interactions with people, what sort of things are you hearing each year as people are getting out? Are people optimistic about the growth of this, getting people more involved? Is there challenges that people are talking about?
Yeah, they're getting more optimistic, but they see that it's a lot of the same, that over the winter, I mean, not just Winnipeg, but I think a lot of the winter cities that have snow, and so you're not touching any of the litter between November and April. And when the snow does melt, we look bad. And what we would love to see is people making sure they don't throw stuff out on the ground, don't toss stuff out the car windows. Stop signs, I can't believe how many stop signs we saw litter at a stop sign, that people stop at the stop sign and toss their coffee cup out the window. Stop doing it. Just take it with you and leave our place looking better than it does. That's what we want.
Because, I mean, it gets more frustrating, and as it piles up, people are less likely to want to clean it up, and it just it's bad. It's bad in all aspects. Economically, like tourism or things like that, a community looks grosser, and I think that can add to the feeling of it, because, sometimes people feel scared when walking downtown Winnipeg, but how much of that could change if things were cleaned up a little bit more? People are a little happier, a little bit more excited to be there.
Exactly. You don't want to go down a street that is full of litter, full of just junk, and full of a lot of dog poop and stuff. You just don't feel the same as when you're walking down a street that's litter-free, dog poop-free, and you feel better. And so that's what it should be, every street. And people have to start taking responsibility for their actions. One kindergarten student said to me, when we were talking about litter and how bad it was to litter, and she said, she's 5 years old, she said, for every action, there is a consequence. Mm-hmm. If a 5-year-old can get it, maybe some of the adults can get it too, and we can all work together, because we got to be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Well, you're talking about the environmental impacts of it. Not only is it looks horrible, but depending on what sort of litter is there, it can seep into the ground, polluting waterways, polluting grasses, potential sites for community gardens, and that can add up over time. And I think when you get down there, you get dirty picking it all up, it can change your mindset of what sort of items that you're using every day. Not to say I'm perfect at all. Hey, I have a Pepsi bottle right here with me. But it's about small changes over time.
Exactly.
Right? Like, it's understanding, okay, I can reduce my waste over time, and that would mean potentially less garbage in the future.
Exactly what it is. I mean, I stopped using plastic straws a long time ago. I have metal straws, and we actually just bought some metal straws with Take Pride Winnipeg lasered on the straw to give out to students. And it's important to take little changes like that all the time. And all of a sudden, if you're refusing, when you go to a store, if you refuse a plastic bag or even a paper bag, and you take 2 or 3 items with you in your hands or in your pockets rather than getting a bag, that's one difference. And every difference makes a bigger difference. And every big difference makes a huge difference. And that's what we need to do. And everybody's got to start doing it. So get rid of that Pepsi bottle.
I'm working on that. It's a habit I'm trying to get rid of. But yeah, I mean, talking about the bags, like, how long has kind of reusable bags been pushed? Everyone should have a massive collection at this point. And I mean, it's about habits. I understand, like, sometimes you have a last minute thing, you want to go to the store. If you have a car, leave a bunch in your car just so that you have them at all times.
No, it's very simple. And when I go to a food fair, for an example, and I go and get 2 or 3 things, they know me at that food fair. They know I'm not going to take a bag. Mm-hmm. They know I'm going to carry it out in my hands, take it to my car, and take it home. And it's the simple things like that. We used to do a program when there was more plastic bags out there, but now they're banning plastic bags. We did a program called Bag Up Manitoba, where we got schools to bring in plastic bags, and we would recycle them and turn them into frisbees and birdhouses and benches for the schools. The last year of the program, which was before COVID, 155 schools across Manitoba brought in 1.1 million plastic bags. Every one of them got recycled.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me about this. Where can people go to find out more information about Take Pride Winnipeg and your various initiatives?
Well, if you go on our website, takepride.mb.ca, and if you want to sign up to get a group or yourself to go out and pick up litter on your own, we have bags and stuff for you. Just email Carrie, CARRIE, takepride.mb.ca.
Have any stories you'd like us to share or communities we should highlight? Leave a comment on our social media or reach out to us on our website. I'm Ryan Funk. This was You Talk, and have yourself a good one.